How's it going? This is Jacob at nightridershop.com. Today I'm going to be installing new weather seals for my T-Top Night Rider project car. This should work for any 82 through 92 Camaro or Firebird. So I just want to go through the steps with you and let you know exactly in detail with video footage exactly how you get it done. Alright, just like that. And I made sure all my screws are right here. It's good. And see how it kind of blends right in with the color of the car. If I was to do this trim black, I don't think it would look as good. It would have this separation of colors. And I already painted this too, so to match everything. And all this has been painted. So everything matches up just perfectly. And you do see this lip here from inside the car. Even if the headliner's on there, sometimes you can see it. So yeah, tighten those down and you're done. That's the first step to putting your seals on. Alright, first thing we're going to do, take our seals and we're going to start fitting them there into where they go. We're just going to do a quick fit. We're going to make sure that these seals do fit the way they're supposed to. You know, I bought these online, and last thing I want to do is buy somebody's junk that didn't fit on the car correctly because it was not made correctly from the factory or whatever reason. They do mess up when they make stuff sometimes, so it's always a good idea to fit and make sure they're gonna fit correctly. You don't want to glue this up, install it, and go, oh shoot, this thing don't line up at all. I think it was a defect in the manufacturer. So let's do a quick fit and make sure we don't have that problem. And as you can see, these are not aftermarket seals either. These are OEM seals. You could still find them. They're a little bit pricey, but you can still find them online. And I definitely recommend that you find them and you use these and don't use Metro brand or Soft Seal. Soft Seal would be the next brand that I would use, but OEM is always going to be the best to find. Okay, so as you can see here, all that old adhesive here I removed, so I'm going to have to add more in this area because when it rains there's a hole back here and you don't want rain inside your car, and the hole can be seen right in here. So when I took the old one off, I cleaned up all that goo that was in there to put new stuff. Alright, so that's not all the way in there, but it gives me an idea of where it's gonna, how it's fitting. And you can see this bolt's right dead on where it should go with the screw. And that's perfect. This thing's fitting nice. All this is fitting and it fits just perfectly where it should. So I know this is a perfect fitting seal. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to seal this hole. Now I could see the water dripping down. I'm going to take this back off. I can see the water dripping down here and then falling into here. Let me totally remove this. Okay. I could see it dripping down this thing if it does get in there, and then slowly dripping down here and finding its way possibly down in here. And then even if it got into here, it should drip down in this crack here. But you could see here there's a hole right here, and that's what I'm going to put some sealant in right up in here. So I'm going to seal this whole area with some sealant first before I go any further. And I'm going to put the sealant right in this crack and right here. And I'm not going to use the sealant for the glue sealant. I'm going to be using the same sealant for the window that I used the other day by 3M, the auto glass urethane, this stuff right here. Alright, one more view of this. You can see this little piece here goes into here and then it screws down, but you're still going to have a slight gap in there. I don't think you can see it on camera, but there's a good, I don't know, 1/4 inch gap there that water could still find its way in. You could probably push this thing back a little bit, but because it does have adjustments on it. But that's where it was from the factory, I believe. I might have taken these off though, I can't recall. But it only goes back so far. I'm going to try to loosen it up and push it back, but these got to be lined up to the T-tops anyway. I got to check mine and make sure they fit where they're at before I get this glued in. But I did put the sealant urethane up in that hole here. So, but yeah, this is the main spot where I'd say you want to. I've had drips on my panel, so I know it came in from there on my actual side panel pieces, headliner, where the speakers go. So I know it does leak in here, and from the looks of it, if I was to leave this bracket where it's at and I take this back off, I would tell you to put the window urethane right where my fingernail is, right here, and kind of touch it to the metal right here and go all the way up. You want all this full of that urethane right there, because that's where this seal is not going to hit it. There's going to be a bit of a gap, and this one tucks into here just like that, so the rain's still going to be able to get in there. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be a drip 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 depending on how much it's raining out there. Alright, quick note is I kept the ends of the old seal, and there's a reason for that. I needed to keep these little pins. Instead of just keeping the pins and throwing away the seal, it's easier just for me to keep the whole seal, so when I need them, you can pop the pins out. Take these off. Don't lose them, because these don't come with it. You're gonna need them for your new seal. So there you go. So take the old ones out, put them in the new ones. Alright, I was a bit worried that this opening here would drip, and it could if you don't put enough adhesive in this corner here. But this thing, it's fitting real nice. When you open this up, it should be right up on the metal there. And I'll take this off and I'll show you what I mean. Right here is one of your main leak areas. You need to put a lot of the 3M adhesive, black adhesive, right in this spot here, because when you put these down, you want to really push that up on there and get it real tight, because from here and here is your two leak points that I can see where it really would leak. So you got to make sure, and I'll go over that when I get to that point. And same thing on this side. This side's really prone to leaking on this side, so I'm still waiting for this to dry over here. I just put it down, and actually if you got some Dynamat, that would work too to cover up that hole. I put some on the other side, but I didn't put none on this side, so I think I'm going to cut out a little strip and put it right here and kind of block that entrance too with it. That'll also help. This stuff's getting tacky, starting to dry. It's very hot today, 90 degrees, 93. So yeah, that's the only place back here I could see it dripping in, and so I'm just going to put some more of that stuff in there, just in that corner, to keep it from dripping that way. But other than that, I think that's the only thing you need to address really on this seal, is right here, and make sure you glue that end piece when we get to that. But yeah, I'm gonna really get this one taken care of. Alright, you can see I filled it with some urethane sealant there, put it up in this crack, put some on this side too. Thinking if I should run some across here, but I think this is maybe a channel for the rain to go down too, because you would think it would drip here and then drip down into there. You don't want to put too much here, because this little piece here has to go in there still and screw down. Yeah. But now you don't see a big gaping hole going through there. Okay, you guys don't have to do this, but I had some Dynamat left over, so I just went and ran a strip right there. Kind of keep the water from going back there, kind of seals up that hole. just like that. Did it on both sides. So now there's nowhere for that water to go inside of the car because we got that urethane and we got the little tape holding it in the back, the Dynamat tape. Alright. You can let that dry and then come back later and do it, or you can just do it right away because this stuff doesn't take too long to dry. It's still a little tacky though, but I think I'll just wait a little bit. Today I got these painted, base clear, 3 coats of clear. Looks really nice. Okay, so I got these T-tops in there, not completely fitted, but you know, I got the clips in somewhat. In the back the clips in. Started just kind of sitting this one in here, just so I can get an idea where this end pieces are gonna go. So now my freshly painted T-top windows are gonna go in place, and we'll see how they line up. These seals are not gonna be replaced, so they're in good shape. Alright, so I just dropped in the windows, T-top windows, and you can see right here it's really close, which is what you want. You want this thing to be snug there and snug right here in this crack. So it looks like this is a perfect fitting seal. Alright, I found another place where water could get in this pillar crack right here. So crack right in here, and because I took it off, I think it was sealed, but because I took it off, I cleaned it all up. So when these seals go in, it does protect it up to that point, but because there's a big crack there, you see the way those windows sit in here, it pushes the seal down and kind of pushes it like that and keeps the water from going in here. Some might still get in there, but very little. But right here, if it's opened up right here, all that water is going to be going directly in there, and it might pile up just a little bit. It might not go anywhere, but if it doesn't find its way in here, it can cause rust inside here if it gets its way in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that window urethane stuff and I'm going to fill this crack in. You could put some tape here and tape here to keep that from getting on the paint. You can put it on from the top, put it on from the bottom. But yeah, I'm gonna seal this up on both sides just to be on the safe side, just to give it that little added protection, so when it does rain, it's not constantly dripping into this crack and getting inside your pillar area. Alright, so I'm going to be putting some of that urethane right here. I got it all taped up, ready to go. A little bit on the top here. I taped it up so it doesn't get on. And probably try to squeeze some in from the bottom, but you want to be careful because that seal goes all the way in here where my finger's at. So you just want to get it right in the very center. Just a little bit. And you could even put some here at the bottom where I taped it off. There's a little ridge here that's open. You could put a bead right in here too if you want to. And same thing on this side, same concept. Bead in the middle here, a little bit in the middle there, and a little bit on the top here. That's all it really needs. Alright, for now I just ran a bead right on the top and kind of just went over it with my finger on both sides. I'm not going to mess with the little hole down at the bottom just yet. I think when I put the seals in, I'll be filling that in when I do the seals. So I'm going to leave that alone because I'm going to let this dry overnight, at least on the top. That way when it rains, it doesn't have a place to go into that crack. So I got that sealed up. And then later we'll address this other gap. I think we could just probably use this later in that centerpiece when we're putting this on. Maybe put some here on this edge, and when we slide it in, it'll dry in place. That'd be better than putting it there and letting it dry, and then when it gets hard, it'll still be kind of soft, but it might keep this from fitting in there completely. So just do the top for now, let it dry overnight, and that way at least you have this one nice. You got it water sealed. And you can see I'm wearing gloves this time because I learned my lesson. Last time I didn't use gloves and my hands were full of that stuff for a good few days. And you see I pulled the tape off and there's no damage or anything to the paint. Just make sure you tape it up real nice. Peel that tape off when it's wet. That way it doesn't harden to the tape, and then when you go to take it off later, it's dry and it doesn't want to come off. So I'm taking it off right now. There we go. Alright, so there you have it. Nice clean look. And that'll be watertight in that area. Alright guys, I got this fitted in yet again. Making sure everything fits right. And I think I'm just about ready to glue this with some 3M Black Super Weather Strip gasket adhesive. This stuff right here. You can buy it at any local AutoZone or auto parts store. So I was just making sure this thing was lined up right here, because I don't want this to be too low where it's hanging down, and I don't want it to be too high. So just making sure I got it fit really good. I'll get that tight. There is a bit of a gap, but I think it's because these are new seals. It's going to take a while for those to sit down. A little bit of a ledge here. Yeah, I think we're good. We're ready to go. And I'll adjust the window later on the car if I have to, if it doesn't sit right. I'll adjust the window to the sill and not the sill to the window, because the window can be adjusted. It's not a big deal. Okay. And you can see it's lining up pretty good on both sides. I got these clips in just so I can see where it's all going to fit. So this is like a perfect fitting piece, but again, these are original seals, so. And it's pretty cool how they made these. They made it where it has a drain. If any water gets in the seal from the top, if it drains down into that, there's a crack in here. It'll drain down here, and then there's a little release area right here where it can drip out. So you don't want to glue inside this crack here. You want to leave that open. Little crack here. Just kind of glue around it. So I want to take my time on this because I don't want to screw up. I want to get it done right. Alright, time to run some glue. And so we see here that it's going to sit in between here. It doesn't sit on this piece here. Okay, this is just kind of a flap that goes on here. So we only need glue in this rail here. And you don't need to put tons of glue, just a little bit. You don't need to go crazy with this stuff. It's been a while since I've done one of these. A long while. Okay, that's about all you need. You don't need to go crazy. Like I said, don't put too much. Okay. Alright. That should be sufficient for now. And I'm going to go piece by piece. I'm not going to glue this thing all up all at once. I'm just going to go do this piece, and then I'll do that side, and then I'll just continue on. I'm not going to rush it. And you can see I only went to here, so I'm going to put glue on this on the end later on. I'm not going to do it right now because I want to get this fitted in first. And we want to let it tack up. If you read the directions, I think it says like 5 minutes for it to get tacky. Let's see. It does have kind of a vapor to it, so if you're sensitive to that, wear a mask. See, apply a thin uniform coat of adhesive, not a thick one, a thin one, just like I did. Allow it to dry until tacky. So you don't want to put it on right away. You want to give it a couple minutes for it to tack up. Okay, it's about 76 degrees today, so it's nice and cool. It's not too hot, so just probably take a few minutes, and then when it starts to tack, I'll put this down. Alright, so starting to get tacky. Now it's ready to be put on. So the way this goes in is you want to use this long lip here first and get that one in first. Should slide in like this at an angle. Okay, and then you'll see over here, you kind of want to get this one situated so you know where this is going to go, so you know about how far you got to bring it down, and kind of line up this bottom clip so you know when those are lined you're pretty close. So we're pretty close. So now we're going to take this little plastic tool and get up in here. A lot easier than using your fingers. And we're just going to squish that into that groove there. But again, you don't need a ton of glue. And I've seen videos of people putting way too much glue. You don't need that much. Okay. And let's get this bottom lip up in there. And that should never go nowhere. That's in place. I put this little tape here to remind me it should be about right there. This little piece here. Okay, so you can see I can lift this up, so it's not a big deal to go and get your glue in here afterwards. Okay, so don't worry about that. Just want to make sure it lines up with those little pins, because once this glue's in here, that's it. There's no moving it. Okay, now for this next piece, this is going to be a little bit trickier because this you really want to get some glue in there. Make sure it doesn't leak. And yeah. So this is going to be a little bit trickier because of the position of it. Okay, again, you see those two holes there? Those are drain holes. Any water that builds up in there, in this area, water will go down these holes. So do not put glue in those holes. Those holes are there for a reason. The water would go and travel down here and again come out from right here, from this crack, and then drip down. So don't fill those holes. Keep that in mind. Put some more adhesive up in here. So I like to put some on this part too. Not too much, just a little bit. Okay. And then we just got to run, you know, just a small bead. You can put some dots like that and then kind of run the bead in here. Again, don't put too much. I know you want to think, oh, more is better, but it's really not in this case. Okay, I'm not going to go too far. And that's all it really needs. Okay. I only went up to about here because I'm going to keep on moving as I go. Another thing you can do, it's kind of messy, that stuff, but you can use this urethane stuff too if you want to. Stuff does make a bit of a mess. I'm gonna go and shove some more up in here. Just like that. Okay. Put some more in this crack here. Just like that. And that should be good. Stuff is messy. Okay, it's already starting to tack. This one again, it's got the lip here. You want to get this lip in first. First we'll line it up. Get that right up in there. Okay. We'll run that first lip in. All right. Okay. And I'm going to take some more of the urethane and shoot some in that crack, because this is where I think it would leak from this transition. Don't need a whole lot. Oh, I can't reach my rag. There we go. Got some on this piece here I want to take off. Try not to get it on your fingers. So that should be completely sealed. Any water that runs down here should be able to just, find its way out. You do not need glue in here. That's why we painted. The paint will protect that metal. Do not put any glue there. You don't need it. Again, that's going to keep this seal from working properly if you do put it there. Alright, while it's wet, make sure you put the screw in while all that glue is wet. You don't want it to dry up and then you have to move it. Alright, so this one's all nice and done on this side. We're going to continue on with the rest of it. Some over that screw. Okay. Okay, this is another spot that I said I would address later on, and that's this gaping hole here. I'm going to put some sealant in there too, just to seal it up. Put it right in there. Okay, I'm not going to put too much on the bottom piece. When I do the other side, I'll get to the bottom. I just wanted to put it right here in this little crack here. Okay, that's it. We'll go back to the adhesive. We'll put some more adhesive in this area here. And some up the top. You don't have to put it at the top, but I'm just going to run a little bit. I want it mostly on this bottom part here. And again, I'll just run it about halfway. Let that tack up. You can see it's not that much. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. Do not gunk it up. Don't put tons and tons of stuff in here. You don't need it. So this is all tacky. This is ready to go. Let's get this in here. Same thing. We're going to put the lip, the far lip in first. Okay. And this one's a little bit trickier because we got to push this lip in first, going that way. Okay. Not too hard to do. Again, this tool helps if you have any troubles. I think the last time I had repaired a set of these was back, wow, 15 years ago, I think. Back in like 2002, 2003 was the last time I had done a T-top weather sill. And then I had sold that kit car, and then I built a convertible, and I've had a convertible since then. And you can see how clean that looks. Gonna give it a push. And you can see there's no glue that you can see from up top. It's not, you're not supposed to have glue there. Believe me. I've seen videos where people gunked up a bunch of glue. That's the wrong way. That defeats the purpose of this sill. The whole point of the sill is when the weight comes down, smashes that real tight, and then no water can get in there. That's why there's a sill on this side and a sill on that side. Double protection. Okay, I'll probably put a little bit of adhesive in here later on, in that corner here. Later I'll tape some tape here and there, and then I'll put a little bit in here just because I don't like the way that's coming out. I'll give it a nice rub down. We'll continue over here. Might as well keep going on this side. Looks like they had ran a bead up top like that, so I'm just going to put a skinny one there. And then one down below. Couple dots. I like to cover up this screw, keep it from rusting. And kind of do this little crack here. And we'll stop here. And we'll check out this side. This side's got the same little gap, so I'm gonna go get my urethane again, and we're gonna put some right up in this crack. That's about it. By the time that's good, we should be tacky, ready to go. I guess I don't have to put nothing over there. This is not cut all the way through, so that should be fine. Yeah, that one's not cut either. So we don't have to worry about filling in that little hole that I mentioned earlier. Oh, got a little glue out here. That's what I don't like, mess of this stuff. Alright, get this one up in there. And that's where we'll stop. I like to put a couple dots here and there. That's probably more than enough. That's it. And I'll give it another minute to tack. All right, nice and tacky, waited a minute, and then we'll get this groove in here. I use my little thing. I think that's about where I stopped. Okay, and I'll just rub my finger in here. Okay. Alright guys, we're getting to that point here where we're going to seal in this area here. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put some urethane in there. I'm not going to put too much. Something like that. Alright. Now we're going to use our regular glue. Well, that's getting tacky already. The stuff I put in there before. Okay, just run a little dot there. And then, just to be on the safe side, we'll run a little bit of this here on that edge. Okay. And then this piece here, when this goes down, there's this spot right here that you want to do. Put a little bit right in here. You really want this to stick here. Okay. Put some on this little piece too if you want. Remember, do lock those holes. Alright, I think we're good there. Put this cap on because this stuff dries up super quick. And then we'll shove this one in place. where's my little tool? Here. Okay, so we'll just push that in. Now I want to get this one in, which you guys probably aren't going to see me doing this because the camera's not in the right position. Get that one nice and tight. Then we're going to kind of pull this. Actually, let me loosen that up a little bit. And then I'm going to pull this one down kind of like that. So it's squishing it to the wall. And then we'll tighten that down. Alright. Alright. Yeah, that's what we want. We want it nice and tight there. We don't want any water dripping there. Alright. Last section here. Should put that on the seats. See if this fits good. Yeah, it looks like it's going to fit perfect. And you can see this one, the original ones have little stick-on pieces. I'll take that off in the end. So let's run a bead again. Kind of hard to get in here. There we go. And a little bit in here where I missed. And probably should take this off now. And I'll put like a little bit here. Just for the heck of it. Little dot here. And a little dot up here. That should be good. Alright, so this one we want to get this bottom one in first, I believe. Or actually the top one would be easier. Just like that. And of course the door's in the way, keeping you from getting this last end piece to the puzzle. And then once we get that in, we're going to stick it. Alright, use my tool again. I don't know if you guys are going to see this, if this is going to get on camera, but I'm doing my best, guys. This is a one-man show. I'll take this off, see if I can. And of course we're right in the light from the sunshine outside. But there's a little crack in there, you see that? And I'm just pushing it in. Here's the seam, it's kind of stiff right here. That's where they seamed it up, I believe. Alright guys, I went and I close the door on this to get it nice and snug in this area to make sure it's where it needs to be. And that's pretty much it. I think we're done. And you can see this is nice and tight here, real tight. And get one of these tools. This is usually used for taking the door panels off. It's plastic. It won't hurt the paint, and it won't hurt the weather strip. Don't use a screwdriver. Use one of these. And you can see window's nice and lined up with that. Nice and tight. Doesn't look like I'll need to adjust the window. So, because it's fitting pretty good. But I won't know until I put the T-top on, which I'll probably do right now. But yeah, this thing's fitting real nice. And it should, because this is an original. But that's it, guys. That's how you install T-top weather stripping. Kind of a pain in the butt. I know I spent several days on it because of the glue letting it dry. You don't have to let it dry. It's just better. That this urethane stuff takes quite a bit of time to dry. Quite a few hours to do to tack up and dry. And so if I would have gooped it in there and did this right away, it probably would have been moving around, and then it would dry, you know, later on. Don't use too much glue. It's not really needed. You're just gonna make a mess, and these seals right here are not gonna want to sit right if you put a bunch of gunk in there. So take it from me or not. You can see the seal is nice and snug here in this crack. I think it's gonna be nice and tight for water. This one's pretty lined up. This one's got a tiny gap, but you know what? I found out there's a crack on this seal. I'm probably going to order a new seal anyway, and then I'll be able to align that a little better, get that gap completely flush when I get a new one. Because this thing looks like it looked good, but on this side I noticed it was ripped, so go figure, it's 20 something years old. So yeah, that's how you do it. Close the door and leave it for a few days. Let the seals kind of settle to the car. Alright guys, check it out. Seal is perfect. Couldn't be happier. I'm sure if I got a Metro brand, I'd be not happy with the way it fit, but yeah, this one fit real nice. T-top's going in real good. The door seal right here is good. The top seal's perfect. Actually got squished up there real nice, closing the door on it. This is nice and perfect here. So looks like we're good. Make sure that's all the way in. Yeah, a little tight to close, but that's because everything's new. New door seals, new T-top seals. Everything's new except for this one piece here, this little 2-foot section on the window, which I'll have to buy that later. But yeah, that's killer. Now I got to do the other side. Fun. But yeah, it didn't take that long. It's not that hard. Just follow the steps that I did here, and you'll be okay. If you're like me, kind of hesitant to do something for the first time, and you want to know the right way, well, just follow me and do the steps I did, and I guarantee you'll have a good result with this. I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching the video. I hope this helps you guys if you're doing this to your car, because again, this is the one thing that has to be done right. If it doesn't, the winter time comes, snow, rain, you don't want it to pile up in here and then leak into your car, destroy your interior that you spent so much time fixing. And yeah, you don't want that to happen. So to the next video, guys. This is Jacob at nightridershop.com. I sell Night Rider parts. Check me out at www.nightridershop.com. If you're interested in any Night Rider bumpers, dashes, anything like that, hit me up. I'm on Facebook, YouTube. You can find me anywhere. Catch you on the next one.